So what I have noticed about perhaps most people's practice is that they go to the lowest common denominator of themselves. The sense of self-discouragement or despair, and perhaps most commonly self-doubt, when they look upon the possibilities of where they could go. And rightfully so, many teachers focus in on that lowest common denominator to uplift it, so that people can see a different perspective of themselves and move forward. But I find that we can spend so much time doing that we don't come to the highest denomination of ourselves. And so I'm going to be focusing for the duration of this month on that highest common denominator. And I expect each of us in turn to go where we need to work so that we can stretch or reach that highest common denominator. But I won't dwell that much upon it. From time to time I'll have something to say, and it's hard not to talk Dharma without talking about the obscurations. And the Western central obscuration is doubt. We just don't believe we have the capacity or ability or potential to do what is right in front of our eyes to do, which is to awaken. And that causes me despair, because I know you do. And we don't even get much of that sense of uplift because we're so used to talking about the discouragement, the hindrances, on and on. But this is accessible, people. Now, some of you may choose to work forever participating in preparing for the journey of awakening. There's not too much I can do about that. That keeps you very much embodied in yourself as someone who is trying to fulfill his or her dream going forward. But that dream never ends. And your preparation will never end because, especially in Buddhism, there are so many different routes you can travel for more preparation. It's endless, simply endless. And since a sense of self is based in doubt, at least in the Western culture, we never feel like we're ready for anything but more preparation. And so we stay within our own logic. We stayed held within our own logistics. So let's just make this real simple, because preparation is not simple. Preparation is complex, difficult, intricate, lengthy. But awakening is not. It's extraordinarily simple. So first you have to decide whether that's what you want. And then you have to give your whole heart over to it. Which means you do have to deal with what obscures it, but you can't spend your life trying to remedy an obscuration, because you're just reinforcing that obscuration through the attention you're giving it. So what does it look like? Right? God, where have we been, right? It should bring a smile on our face, the possibilities. Now, I like very simple continuums because they show the utter simplicity of the awakened journey. So let me just give you the simplest of continuums. We all start embellished in memory, the then, T-H-E-N, of our experience. That's where we start. That's what a normal consciousness, it's abnormal in reality, but in this culture, the normal consciousness is one that's based in then. Where one has been, what one has done, the image that's formed, and even the future expectations are held within the then of experience. So what we can do is contained by what we have done, by how we have defined ourselves. And that is the full embodiment of the sense of self, of me as a person, is the then of experience. I'm not saying the Zen of experience. That's where we're going. So we are met with memory. Memory is the drag of the system, the resistance of the system. It gives us a sense of functionality in the world that we need, so we're not trying to eliminate memory. We're simply eliminating the belief in memory. Now, what would this moment look like if you didn't meet it with memory? Isn't that a fair question? Now you get some sense of awakening. Even though memory arises as a facet of presence, it doesn't obscure presence. When it's included within presence. But we use memory as a way to prepare to meet the present. And do you think memory ever lets us out of its hold? How do you stop memory by remembering? See, this is very simple. So the continuum I am pointing towards is the continuum from then to now. That holds all continuums, all Buddhist continuums. It holds suffering to the end of suffering. Because it's only the then of your experience that breeds the expectation of now being something other than what it is. And that's the definition of suffering. So I'm not deviating from the Buddhist path, which some of you fear from me. I'm having us rise up to a new way of looking at it. Shaking off the cobwebs. Because I couldn't find my way out reading through the literature. Maybe you could, but I couldn't. I had to take it under my own strength, under my own awareness and see what it meant to me. Under our own power, empowerment. And that's where doubt bleeds us dry, because we're thinking, I couldn't have, I'm up against 2,500 years of literature. I don't have no power here. I just give over my power to what it tells me to do. So we give over to the then to prepare us for the now. Ugh. This requires something more from us. Some determination, some resolve, some undefeatable part of ourselves. For what is now? As if we could have ever left it, for God's sake. As if it could be somewhere else. If it could be on top of the Himalayan mountains where the cave dweller seeks. As if it could be anywhere. As if I had to do a lot to be in it. Work effortfully to get where? Wouldn't it make more sense to relax and participate rather than to prepare and struggle for something that's already at hand? And anything that tells us it's not at hand, we question. That seems in line. Anything that tells us we are not at hand, we question. Anything, states of mind, because they have been infused with the then of our experience, tell us we are somewhere else other than. And so we question. How do we question? Not with argument, which just asserts the authority and increases the power of then. We simply hold and stop. In reverse order, that eliminates the power we have given it. When we stop and simply abide. Now we have an orientation. Now we have a disposition. Now we have a proximity that even the statement of having a spiritual journey does not give us. And we have all the tools available to complete this journey, not in 100,000 lifetimes. But when we no longer doubt our readiness. Okay, enough for this morning.